Alright, we're talking about Book 3 of Jedi Apprentice, which is called The Hidden Past. Now, this is credited to Jude Watson, but according to Wikipedia, Dave Wolverton co-wrote it with her. I honestly don't know how accurate that is. When I talked to Dave Wolverton, he did not mention that to me, but honestly, I didn't ask. But he's not credited on the book, to my knowledge. Like within the book itself. And this book is about Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon immediately after the events of the Dark Rival. They're going to Gala to deal with a situation where the Queen wants to make the planet a democracy, and there's issues with that. That's not super important in this book because Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon are kidnapped by Gura and Paxi Dorita. Now, Gura, I didn't really mention him in the previous review. He's and Obi-Wan become friends when Obi-Wan's thrown in prison by Xanatos in the last book. Apparently, Gura got out of prison. I can't, for the life of me, I just can't remember right now how. But he and his brother, they're sort of Robin Hoods in a way. So they live on a planet called Pindar. They're Pindians. And in the planet of Pindar, it's run by a syndicate. And the syndicate is depriving the people of medicine and food and stuff. And the people who stand up to them get their memories wiped. So Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon are on a mission to stop it. And of course, Prince Beju, the Prince of Gala, may be involved in this. What did I think of The Hidden Past? It's got a lot going on. It's a weird one. Because the Dark Rival, in my opinion, is really good. And they didn't try to top it. I do think it's a step down, in my opinion. It's not a bad book. In fact, it's pretty good. But what really bothered me were the Dorita brothers. They're kind of really obnoxious. And what I mean by that is, they just lie, and then they say, I lie. And then they kind of tell the truth, but do you really know if they're telling the truth or not? No. And that's really obnoxious. And the Pindians, they don't speak basic well, and that's annoying. It gave me Jar Jar vibes, but they're more useful than Jar Jar, but they're not super useful. And they drive Qui-Gon nuts, which feels a little out of character, but they're like Obi-Wan's friends. It feels... It feels like the reverse of Phantom Menace with the whole Jar Jar thing. And they call Obi-Wan Obi-Wan, and they call Qui-Gon Jedi Gone. And that gets really tedious after a while. And thankfully, this is a children's book, so it's mercifully short. I don't think I could have lasted through, say, a 500-page novel of that. That would have driven me up a wall. But as it stands, it's a kid's book. I gotta give it a little slack for putting a kid thing in. Because the subject matter is very unpleasant, and that's probably why they did this. There's a character in here that works for the Syndicate that doesn't realize that she was part of the Resistance, and she's had her memory wiped, and she has a relationship with some of the characters in this, and it's really sad. Also, Prince Beju, we'll get into his character more when we talk about the Mark of the Crown, but he's a little butthead. And that's done on purpose. And I kind of like that they went the obvious route with him. And there's a funny scene near the end between him and Obi-Wan that did crack me up a little bit. So anyway, what would I give this book out of 5? Probably give it 4.3 out of 5. It's pretty good. subject matter is dark, but they try to balance it with goofy, zany characters. It doesn't quite work for me. One more thing I want to bring up is the stone that Qui-Gon gives Obi-Wan, because it's Obi-Wan's birthday, and when a Padawan turns 13, a master will give the Padawan um a, like something significant in the Force, and Qui-Gon gives him this rock, and the rock actually appears in the next book too. I quite honestly, I can't remember. I didn't remember the rock from when I was a kid reading these, so I'm gonna see how far it goes. Anyway, have a good one.